Okay, so as you can see, we're going to be talking about Intel today. And Intel designs, manufactures, and sells integrated digital technology platforms primarily in the Americas and Pacific, and also Europe and Japan. And they're one of the biggest microprocessing manufacturers in the world, and also the industry leader in microprocessing chips. Intel is a great company, and as you can see, some of the strengths that they have are strong market position and brand image. Now, when you think of Intel, you automatically think of that wonderful image that you saw on the first slide that I showed you of their branding, and that's one of their biggest strengths, is having such a good brand. Also, another one of their strengths is their advanced technological capabilities. They have pretty deep pockets, and they also spend a lot of money in research and development in creating those amazing microprocessors. And some of the weaknesses are their customer concentration, and the reason I say that is because they pretty much are stuck to just the PCs and being able to make those microprocessors, but they're definitely trying to get out of those weaknesses by advancing some of the things that they're working on, such as the launch of the Atom processor, like we talk about in the opportunities section here. The launch of the Atom processor is basically making microprocessors, not only making processors for phones and smart devices, on-the-go devices, instead of just keeping to computers and databases. And some of the other opportunities that they have are partnerships and alliances, and just in their supply chains, and also of the global market that's starting to open up as we come into this century. And so there's a lot of opportunities they have to expand into different parts of the world. Some of the threats are the increasing competition, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later here in the presentation, because there are people that have started to enter the market, and so they're going to have to continue to keep an eye on that and continue to put money in research and development to stay strong with their advanced technological edge that they have on other companies. And then also just litigations, and I think that's a threat for any company, any big company, or litigations and running into patent issues and other things like that. So that's the SWOT analysis on Intel. Now, as I did an industry comparison, as you can see here, Intel is up here at the top, and as you can see, just revenue-wise, they are definitely the industry leader. And as you take a look, you can see that they're doing well with a lot of their other financial statistics that we take a look at, such as their cash-to-cash cycle time, and days of supply, and their operating income, and we'll be talking a little bit more about those. But some of their big competitors are people like Micron and Technology and Microchip Technology, SanDisk, of course, and maybe one of the more popular people are AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices, one of their big competitors, and also Texas Instruments. And we'll be taking a look at how they compare to Intel and how Intel is doing compared to them. So let's take a look at the scorecard here and see how Intel is doing. Now, as you can see, their cost of goods is in the superior 90th percentile, and it is very good compared to others. As you can see, the parity is 49%, and just to be at an advantage, you should be at 43%. And then superiors are, of course, 37%, which is set by Intel. So they're setting the bar on that one. Now, as you look, they also set the bar on the cash-to-cash cycle time, which is allowing them to free up that cash and be able to reinvest it quickly and to use their resources better that way. Their gross margin is, of course, extremely high. They're setting the bar on that one. And also in operating income, they are way above the superior 90th percentile. And so that's just showing us how well they're doing in their operations section. And as you look at their net income, they're setting the bar on that also at 24%. And then also on the return on assets. They're not quite the best they're not the, as you could say, leader in this section, but they're right up there on their ROA. So they're doing great in that section also. Now let's take a look at some of where they're at in their advantage. So in between parity and superior, as you take a look compared to some of the other companies, their inventory days of supply is something that compared to the other companies in the industry is something that could be taken a look at a little bit closer, as you have people getting their inventory days of supply all the way down to 56% or 56 days and even lower in some cases. And as you can see, Intel is up to about 72 days. As we take a look at their asset turns, you can see that they have some room for improvement on that also. Now, as we take a look at their parity, something that they can work on is their SG&A cost. Compared to the industry, they're right down there at parity, and they're actually below parity. So compared to others, they have a very high SG&A cost, which is costing them a little bit. And so this is something that Intel is definitely going to need to take a look at, and something that I would suggest that should be taken a look at a little bit closer. As we talk about being sick and trying to figure out the symptoms, the two symptoms that I would like to delve into to find out a little bit more about would be their SG&A cost, of course, compared to others in the industry, being even higher than parity percentage-wise. And also I would like to take a look at their inventory days of supply. Once again, pretty low, not the best, but could definitely have room for improvement, which could in turn save a lot of money. So these were the two places that I saw that they were sick in. There's a lot of healthy spots, of course. Being the industry leader, of course, you have to have a lot of healthy. But the two things that I would like to look at and focus on are inventory days of supply and the SG&A costs, which will be able to save the company a lot of money.